we only did give a little slap in the hand to these people, but we got a knife in our hearts.
A Murrow News 8 investigation. The parents of Sam Martinez talk after the 3-year anniversary of his death. Has anything changed?
A little history this weekend. Find out why coming up next.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good afternoon. I'm Allison Martinez.
I'm Aaron Monson. Welcome to the last fall 2022 Murrow News 8.
It's going to be a busy weekend on the Palouse because WSU and the University of Idaho both are hosting their 2022 commencement ceremonies. WSU commencement is going to be happening in the Beasley Coliseum starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. The Vandal ceremony will be held in the Kibbe Activity Center beginning at 2 p.m. Clear bags are required at both ceremonies, and attendees must have their bags checked before entering. Holmes was out and about on campus this morning to see what's going on before tomorrow's ceremony. Reese, what's going on out there?
Right, I am joining you guys inside Beasley Coliseum, where, as you can see behind me, preparations are being made for the big day. I am, of course, talking about commencement. They've got everything here. The music just got cranked up a little bit. They've got Christmas trees. They've got the banner set up, and, of course, the podium for President Kirk Schultz to give his address. Now, some of our very own Murrow News 8 crew members will be walking across that stage in just one day. I myself am super excited for them, but I will not be joining them. Now I'm super excited to hear about their post-graduation plans, so I'm going to send it on back to the desk for them to share those plans, which is to thank you for an amazing semester and being the best crew I could have asked for. Thank you for the music. And back to you guys at the desk. This has been Reese Holmes reporting for Murrow News 8.
Thanks, Reese. Now let's hear where our December grads are going.
I'm headed down to KEZI in Eugene, Oregon, and for the last time, I'm Albert James, Murrow News 8.
I'm heading to wherever the world takes me. For the last time, I'm Derek Joseph, Murrow News 8.
Hello everyone, I will be reporting for KTMF in Missoula, Montana, and for the last time, reporting in Pullman, I'm Diego Moctezuma, Murrow News 8.
I'm going to be going back home. I'm going to be going back to my hometown in Des Moines. So one last time, in Pullman, I'm Emmett Savoris, Murrow News 8.
I'm headed over to ABC Fox in Bozeman, Montana. So for the last time, Alex McCollum, Murrow News 8.
Signing out for the last time for Murrow News 8 in Pullman, I'm Noah Bolter.
I'm Kathryn Roley, and I will be going to KPAX News in Missoula, Montana for the last time. Kathryn Roley, Murrow News 8.
There's a special group of students that we as the Murrow News 8 staff have been working with all semester. To our production counterparts, we want to say thank you for being the best class to work with. We love seeing all of you behind the cameras and in the control room. Thank you 455 for all that you have done this semester.
Since we've got a decent chunk of our news crew graduating tomorrow, here are some reminders for commencement. Graduates, the ceremony will begin at 10 a.m. and be prepared to wait in line outside for around half an hour. Dress warm, it's going to be cold out there. Make sure you also leave any personal items you don't want to bring with you with your family or those that you don't want to lose. Doors will open for guests at Beasley Coliseum at 8 a.m.
They mentioned it was going to be cold. Right now, it is mostly sunny with a high of 33 degrees. However, it did snow a bit last night, so if you're driving, make sure you're driving safely. And for those of you walking, make sure you have shoes with good traction and watch where you walk, as some sidewalks are mixed with slush or ice. We don't want you slipping. I will have more for you in just a bit. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Danny. Although it's an exciting weekend, we do have an update on the murders that occurred almost a month ago in Moscow. The Moscow Police Department is looking for a car that is possibly tied to the murder investigation. They're looking for a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra like you see here on your screen. This car was seen in the area of the crime scene on King Street during the early morning hours of November 13th. The license plate is unknown, but if you know anything about this car at all, call the tip line number at 208-883-7180 and email is tipline@ci.moscow.id.us.
Moscow's holiday traditions look a little different this year. The city's friendship tree, located in the center of Friendship Square, was adorned with more than just lights. Yesterday, the community gathered to adorn the tree with thoughtful messages to honor the 4 victims of the University of Idaho murders. The city of Moscow collaborated with the local art gallery, Moscow Contemporary, to distribute supplies and send messages of comfort.
President Joe Biden announced yesterday that WNBA star Brittany Griner was a part of a prisoner release with the Russian government. In exchange for Brittany Griner, Victor Bout, a Russian arms dealer, was also freed. Griner landed in San Antonio after 10 months in Russia after being arrested with small traces of cannabis in her suitcase. Griner was taken to the Brooke Army Medical Center to be evaluated and to receive any necessary medical treatment. Although former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan is still in Russia after being detained there, there's still not a statement on when he will be coming home.
The parents of Sam Martinez speak out.
Stay with us.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world. Told you she's super smart. If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
It's okay to be scared. You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember, my strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Look who's here. There she is.
How you feel?
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 1-877-333-5885.
It's been more than 3 years since Sam Martinez died inside his WSU fraternity house. Murrow News 8's Albert James has a look at what's changed since then and what stayed the same.
It was a tragedy that reverberated through Pullman and beyond.
Breaking news at 5, a student has died at a Washington State University frat house.
The young man's life taken, stolen from his family after what police describe as an all-night party.
Police say his death may be alcohol-related.
They believe it may be alcohol poisoning, doing CPR.
But for Jolene Houts and Hector Martinez, the 2019 death of their only son, Sam, was a nightmare.
When I got out of the car in our driveway and saw the police officers, I was just clinging to hope that maybe, he'd just been injured and we would fix him. We would fix him.
I remember the guy from Bellevue Police, he was tall and he gave me a big hug, and then I knew.
In 2021, 15 members of the suspended Alpha Tau Omega fraternity were charged with furnishing alcohol to minors at the event where Sam died. Hazing charges were not filed because the statute of limitations had already expired. Of those 15, 7 of them received no jail time and another 7 just served 1 day in jail. Sam's big brother got the longest sentence.
He was sentenced to 19 days in jail, 1 day for each year of Sam's life at our request. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to the loss that we've suffered.
Earlier this year, they took their grief and frustration to Olympia, where they were able to get legislation passed in hopes of curbing hazing.
It's about transparency and it's about education.
The law expands the definition of hazing to include all student groups and covers any activity that could be harmful regardless of consent. It also requires universities to post findings of misconduct investigations into student groups online. National organizations have to let a university know when they are investigating a chapter and also publish findings online. Hout says a history of misconduct at ATO was hidden out of plain sight. When Sam expressed interest in joining, she looked into the frat and found nothing concerning.
If we had had information, even a little bit of information about what was going on with Alpha Tau Omega at Washington State University, Sam would never have joined.
The bill also requires hazing training and education for students and staff, and requires universities to establish a hazing prevention committee. We talked with WSU spokesperson Phil Weiler about Sam's law. He says the university previously met similar goals, but reworked them to better match the new standards.
While we had something in place already, generally speaking, we would tweak it a little bit to make sure that it was in compliance with the new law.
However, the execution of the law doesn't appear to be complete. Only the hazing training for new students, a 16-minute presentation on YouTube, is currently available. Weiler says trainings for current students and staff are being worked on. As for the university's hazing prevention committee, it hasn't met this semester and is still looking for members. One part of the law also requires that universities verify each local chapter has lists of recent misconduct investigations on their websites. A Murrow News 8 review shows some chapters have it, some don't, and some don't even have websites at all. So we asked Weiler about it.
I would have to have a conversation with the folks in Greek life. I suppose if an organization doesn't have a website, we can't require that they make one. I think there is responsibility on the part of the organization to be in compliance with the law.
Weiler says that while the university officially recognizes and partners with chapters, that's as far as the relationship goes.
The community thinks that the university has control over and can, sort of impose restrictions on these organizations. And the fact is, really, we don't have the authority to do that because they are private organizations.
But Sam's family disagrees.
We want people to know that the school, was totally responsible for all these, and they only did give a little slap in the hand to these people, but we got a knife in our hearts.
They filed a lawsuit against the university in July of 2020 in which they say the institution failed their duty to act on the previous misconduct of ATO. The lawsuit was dismissed this March but is currently being appealed. So with Sam's law in effect, what impact does it have here on Greek Row? We spoke to two students who were involved in the Greek community, a former fraternity member and a graduating sorority member. They asked for their identities to remain anonymous out of fear of retaliation from the community. During his time in Greek life, the fraternity member felt that pledges being disrespected was just part of the culture.
I know stories of people that just had to be cleaning the house that they don't even live in for 8 hours a day, and it's just insane to think about.
Even as an upperclassman, the sorority member has been hazed and harassed by her sisters.
I haven't been treated very well as a member for years. Go from anything from kind of like almost getting pushed downstairs on several occasions to getting talked down to or getting told to shut the F up in chapter when I had a question.
At his fraternity, a senior leader was promptly removed after word got out about a large hazing incident he orchestrated.
We figured out he by himself hazed the entire pledge class, so he had to resign. We kicked him out of the fraternity and we dealt with it quickly, which I was surprised about. I thought people would just look past it.
But while big incidents get reported, he says smaller incidents go under the radar because members just let things slide to stay in Greek life.
Many of these members are okay with it because they say it's quote-unquote worth it, because all they're looking for is partying and having fun, and for them that's just an obstacle, and then they can get to do that.
A big reason why hazing continues, the sorority member says, is because programming and education isn't taken seriously.
90% of the programmings that Pan and IFC put on for sexual assault, druggings, and then alcohol abuse, they're a joke. It's someone who comes in and jokes around with us for an hour. It's a joke.
And enforcement is lax.
Someone died, and we're not even taking this seriously. We took it seriously right until the pandemic, and then after the pandemic, no one cared. And they still don't care. Until you actually hold people accountable for their actions, instead of just, slapping them on the wrist, that's where things just go south.
We reached out to WSU's interfraternity and Pan-Hellenic councils to better understand the impact Martinez's death had on their processes and what community accountability looks like. IFC did not respond to our request, while Pan declined to comment, referring us to Phil Weiler, who previously made it clear.
Those are private organizations. They are not, the university does not really have any direct control over what they do.
As for Sam's family, they're looking to continue their crusade with legislation to increase hazing penalties.
Right now it is a misdemeanor, and that is the equivalent of stealing a shopping cart. And we just believe that the punishment should fit the crime. The penalty portion, the education, and the training, I think it's an important package of reforms that sends a really important message that hazing isn't tolerated in Washington State.
And they're working with the University of Washington's Information School to create a nationwide database of hazing incidents.
So the idea is to just throw a big net and bring all of that information together in one searchable place and give people that information and let them do what they need to do with it in terms of decision making.
Sam's death still brings pain for his parents, but even as they relive that pain through interviews, litigation, and legislation, they know they're taking on a worthy cause.
Sometimes we just want to, say, this is enough, we don't think we can go through this again. But as we think on Sam, I think that's what he will want us to help other kids.
We want to save a life for the one that was taken from us. And I don't know how else to say it.
Reporting from Pullman, Albert James, Murrow News 8.
University spokesman Phil Weiler sent a follow-up email explaining that the Hazing Advisory Committee just sent their first meeting for December 19th. Weiler also explained that the university has a hazing training for employees as well that has been added to staff training. Weiler also declined to comment on the lawsuit appeal by the Martinez family. What day might be the best to go home?
Daniela Julio Cano tells us next.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
It's a big weekend for some students on campus. With graduation tomorrow, it is going to look a little different than the spring ceremony. Daniela, what can winter grads expect?
Thank you, Allison. Well, grads, it's not going to be warm and it's not going to be sunny. Let's take a look at the forecast today. We have a high of 33 and a low of 28 with 7 to 9 mile per hour winds. There is a winter weather advisory tonight until tomorrow, so we will expect some snow after 10 p.m. at night with winds being around 14 miles per hour and gusts up to 22 miles per hour. There is also possible snow accumulation of 1 to 3 inches possible. Now, looking into tomorrow, we have a high of 36 and a low of 27 with a mix of rain and snow, and you can see that we have a 15 mile per hour winds. During the day, there will be a mixture of rain and snow before 1 p.m., so for those of you graduating, make sure to stay warm. And also, 1 to 2 inches of snow are expected during the day, but during the night, like I mentioned, there will be snow and rain, but little to no snow accumulation is expected. Now, going on to the state map, like I said, Pullman, Spokane, 33. Fog will be expected in Spokane. Now, looking at Yakima and the Tri-Cities, both at 31 degrees, but those two cities have a freezing fog advisory, so make sure if you are out there to be safe. Now, Seattle and Olympia, 43, 42, it's gonna rain. Like, what can we expect? It's the west side. Now, moving on to the 5-day, we have Saturday and Sunday with a mix of rain and snow, and 36 on Saturday and a high of 35 on Sunday, with Monday and Tuesday cloudy and fog at 31 and 28. And that's all I have for you guys. Back to you guys at the desk.
There was a crushing World Cup loss today.
Derek Joseph is going to break it down for us right after
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Boom! Use STEM to envision. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world. Told you she's super smart. If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
It's okay to be scared. You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Look who's here. There she is.
How you feel?
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 1-877-333-5885.
For one last time, let's talk about some sports. The WSU men's basketball team is headed to Las Vegas, where they will face off against the UNLV Runnin' Rebels in the Las Vegas Clash this Saturday at MGM Grand Arena. The matchup is the first between these two teams. These two teams that face each other. WSU will be looking for big contributions from its leading scorers, Muhammad Gay and TJ Bamba. Sticking with basketball, the WSU women's basketball team is heading to Seattle for its first conference game of the year and Apple Cup match of the season. The Cougs are coming off a historic 19-point comeback in their last matchup against Portland, the largest in team history. UW has gone 7-1 in non-conference play and is coming off a win against Queens University ahead of Sunday's matchup against the Cougs. On Saturday, December 17th, the WSU football team is taking on Fresno State in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl at SoFi Stadium. Kickoff is set for 12:30, and the Cougs will be looking for big contributions from quarterback Cam Ward and first-team All-Pac-12 linebacker Dan Henley. The Cougars will also hope to get some action from their second-team All-Pac-12 edge rushers R.J. Stone and Brennan Jackson. This morning, the World Cup quarterfinals started with an exciting matchup between Croatia and Brazil. The match went into penalty kicks, with Croatia coming out on top with 4-2 in PKs. Croatia is heading to the semifinals, where they will wait to play the winner of Netherlands and Argentina. That's it for sports. I'm Derek Joseph, signing off for the last time.
It's been a fun semester, and it's almost over.
I'll look at some precious moments just ahead.
Boy, Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
We've had a fun and productive semester, but with that being said, there's been some interesting moments. Let's take a look.
All right, we're going to send it
so I'll take it. It felt a little bit cooler today. Exactly how has the weather been, Diego? We're having a bit of difficulties. We'll get over to the weather wall with Diego in a minute. For now, you can just continue to look at me, but I don't got much weather to give you, unfortunately.
Awesome. Thank you, Allison. All operators of this type of plane, I'm sorry. Canada DHC.
Need to be made in order to place a warning.
The day is going to start.
Well, Cougs.
The Mariners lose Game 1 of the ALDS.
On Sunday, we do have snow. That's all I have for sports. When we come back, Reese Holmes has your sports on Murrow News 8.
Fields on a variety of topics, two of which are WSU professors.
What do you guys got?
I mean, I have a sign that says sorry, and that's all I'm going to say.
Disappointing.
And that's actually, and we're going to have to end it there. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a good night.
Have you been drinking dirty water? I know I have.
As a Murrow News 8 class, we wanted to say good night and good luck to everybody here, all these people that are graduating. It's good to work with you guys this semester. It's been a fun time.
Definitely.
I can't even see everybody in here. It seems like it's way in there. I know, right?
I feel the love.
I know. I'm feeling it. Anyway, let's take a look. 1, 2, 3.
Thanks for watching. If you missed anything, you can watch us on our YouTube channel.
Wholesome, and I'm not going to say some of these 455. It sucks a lot. It's sad. We love you guys. Behind the scenes, thank you all so much.
And Marvin and Matt.
More news for us to be found at nwp.org/internet. Follow us on our Facebook page. Have a great night. Thanks so much for watching this whole semester.